And in Shane, he's doing exposure therapy, which is purposely taking yourself out of your comfort zone and putting yourself into a situation that could possibly trigger you, just to see if you can handle it. Like, for example, Shane's staying at the hotel still, and he would go across the street to get Tim Hortons coffee or Burger King. So what he would do is, instead of going at a time when he knew there wouldn't be anyone there, he would purposely go at breakfast hour or lunch hour, just so that he would be surrounded by the people and just know how to be in that.
Like, for me, that wouldn't work. I've been there and done all that stuff before. And for me...
And this is the thing, is it's different for everyone, which is why it's so hard to deal with this stuff and to talk about this stuff, because it affects everybody so differently. And, you know, if we do trigger people, even if we realize that it wasn't our own fault, we still feel guilty like that we did it.
Yeah.
So it's just that PTSD is just a fucking shit show, as we know, but it just complicates everything.
I do have things that trigger me, but a lot of times I'm just, I don't get like panic attacks very often. Most of the time I'm just, because I'm in fight or flight 24 hours a day and a lot of meds to help me deal with that, I'm just sweating all the time and feeling rubbish all the time and feeling terrible all the time, you know what I mean? And get drained from it. So I avoid places so it don't wear me down so much. So every now and again we'll go out for like a quiet coffee somewhere nice where there ain't a lot of people around, you know what I mean? And I'll still be getting a sweat on, right? And all that, but I don't often have a full-blown panic attack or get severely triggered. I'm just angst up the whole bloody time, getting exhausted with it, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I could be as aggressive as Shane is being with his, and I know they're doing it with him, you know, for different reasons, because he was so traumatized that he, you know, doesn't want to go out, and he's agoraphobic, and he needs to get past that so that he can live. Like, I can do certain things, like I don't like grocery stores, I don't like the pharmacy, I don't like anything like that. If I have to go, I try and make it as quick and painless as possible, but I try to avoid big, huge crowds, because I just know I freak out. Like, there's too much going around, there's too much possible threats that could be there.
Yeah.
And I'm just so guarded that.
Yeah. A lot of times I find I go, supposing I go out, right, and we go and get a coffee somewhere quiet in a little forest glade somewhere. There's a coffee bar there. It's lovely where we go, right? We've got this log cabin thing that sells coffee and cake, right? And you know what happens to me? Like, I'll be doing all right, and then the person will come out, and especially if they're nice or they're polite or something, I'll go all over the top, like, yeah, how you doing? You know, I'm like, did you get what I mean? And I'll go all over the top. I feel like I love them because all of a sudden they're treating me properly and they're being nice to me. And I feel like I love them to bits and I want to be their mate. You know what I mean? And as I come away, I feel, you fucking wanker. You know what I mean? I feel like, oh man, I want to punch myself in the head. You know? Div, you know? And I'll do it every time, you know? If I, you know, same thing. No matter where I go, if someone's all right to me, you know, and smiley and pleasant and all that, all of a sudden I just love them to bits, you know, and then I come away all bleeding embarrassed, you know.
But I think that's a good thing, because I think noticing and realizing that those people, those nice people are there, is like refreshing, and we latch onto it like, yay, not an asshole, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you know? Oh man. And then there's other...
I'm always talking to strangers, and Steve's like, don't talk to them. I'm like, but they're being nice.
You know? I remember, like, I used to go in years ago when I was way long before I met Diane. And I was on my own. I used to have to go around a local shop and all that, you know. And I was so messed up, it'd take me forever to try and choose whatever it was I wanted off the shelf, you know. and I'm standing there, and the geezer behind the counter's looking in his mirror to see what I'm up to, you know, because they always have a big round convex mirror, or in the corner, you know, and all that, and you know, and they're either giving me dirty looks or they're trying to get me attention, you know what I mean, to let them know that I know they've seen me, you know. States, you know, well, all I'm doing is I can't make up my mind what I want, and at the time I was broke as well. I was trying to see what I could afford as well as know what I want, right? So I'm there for ages, you know what I mean? My head's going, trying to work it out.
And you're paranoid. You're like, are people staring at me because I'm just standing here not knowing what the fuck I want to do? Do they think I'm stealing?
Yeah, you know, and man, at times I went in a shop and a security geezer was checking me right out.
Oh, I hate that. Or you think they are.
Yeah.
But you don't know if it's in your head or if they actually are.
Yeah, you know.
Because sometimes I really do feel like people just stare at you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I suppose it's their job. But yeah, that's you know, that just wore me out. I'd get home in such a state after all that every time. So now I just don't go out, but like hardly. But like, you know, people like Shane, it's pretty impressive that he's putting himself out there doing that. Whereas for me, I've had enough. I'm 60 this year. I ain't got the energy anymore to put myself through it, you know? You know what I mean? I stay here, I do what I can do. And that's what I do. And whatever keeps me engaged, I'll lock onto and do loads of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it just helps me kind of stay together more, you know? But I know the things that I really struggle with, and all this get out your comfort zone, but that's all right for younger people or someone who's of my age has got more about them than I have. But I've had my days all that now. I ain't putting myself through nothing. I ain't coming out of my comfort zone. I've got to find it first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. I ain't got a bloody comfort zone hardly. Yeah.
That's why his is so intensive, and he's getting his PTSD dog. You remember him talking about her?
Yeah.
And he should be getting his puppy was just born. Her name is Athena, and she's starting to get trained. So he's in the process of getting transitional housing because the first thing fell through, and then his PTSD support dog is coming.
You know what? That's made me realise. So if we flip back to what we're saying about ways of coping mechanisms, right? Pets, bloody hell, cats, dogs, and cuddly toys, right?
Yep.
Right up there, especially cats and dogs, right? You know, and how many times we see people in here snuggling up to a cat, and it makes us feel better watching it.
Right.
Right. Even though I ain't got a cat, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, it's so good for you. Even if you ain't got a trained animal, just if you got an animal that's responsive and affectionate, you know, or next to you or on your lap, or let you cuddle them or whatever. That's just so therapeutic, man.
It is.